Florida is a state in the southeastern region of the United States. It borders the Gulf of Mexico to the west, Alabama to the northwest, Georgia to the north, the Atlantic Ocean to the east, and the Straits of Florida and Cuba to the south. About two-thirds of Florida occupies a peninsula between the Gulf of Mexico and the Atlantic Ocean. It has the longest coastline in the contiguous United States, spanning approximately 1,350 miles, 2,170 kilometers, not including its many barrier islands. It is the only state that borders both the Gulf of Mexico and the Atlantic Ocean, with a population of over 21 million. It is the third most populous state in the United States and ranks 8th in population density as of 2020. Florida spans 65,758 square miles, 170,310 square kilometers, ranking 22nd in area among the states. The Miami metropolitan area, anchored by the cities of Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and West Palm Beach, is the state's largest metropolitan area, with a population of 6.138 million. The most populous city is Jacksonville. Florida's other major population centers include Tampa Bay, Orlando, Cape Coral, and the state capital of Tallahassee. Various American Indian tribes have inhabited Florida for at least 14,000 years. In 1513, Spanish explorer Juan Ponce de Leon became the first known European to make landfall, calling the region La Florida, Land of Flowers. Florida subsequently became the first area in the continental U.S. to be permanently settled by Europeans, with the settlement of St. Augustine, founded in 1565, being the oldest continuously inhabited city. Florida was frequently attacked and coveted by Great Britain before Spain ceded it to the U.S. in 1819 in exchange for resolving the border dispute along the Sabine River in Spanish Texas. Florida was admitted as the 27th state on March 3, 1845, and was the principal location of the Seminole Wars, 1816 to 1858, the longest and most extensive of the American Indian Wars. The state seceded from the Union on January 10, 1861, becoming one of the 7 original Confederate states, and was readmitted to the Union after the Civil War on June 25, 1868. Since the mid-20th century, Florida has experienced rapid demographic and economic growth. Its economy, with a gross state product GSP of $1.647 trillion, is the 4th largest of any U.S. state and the 15th largest in the world. The main sectors are tourism, hospitality, agriculture, real estate, and transportation. Florida is world-renowned for its beach resorts, amusement parks, warm and sunny climate, and nautical recreation. Attractions such as Walt Disney World, the Kennedy Space Center, and Miami Beach draw tens of millions of visitors annually. Florida is a popular destination for retirees, seasonal vacationers, and both domestic and international migrants. It hosts 9 out of the 10 fastest-growing communities in the U.S. The state's close proximity to the ocean has shaped its culture, identity, and daily life. Its colonial history and successive waves of migration are reflected in African, European, Indigenous, Latino, and Asian influences. Florida has attracted or inspired some of the most prominent American writers, including Ernest Hemingway, Marjorie Kinnan Rawlings, and Tennessee Williams, and continues to attract celebrities and athletes, especially in golf, tennis, auto racing, and water sports. Florida has been considered a battleground state in American presidential elections, particularly those in 2000 and 2016. Florida's climate varies from subtropical in the north to tropical in the south. It is the only state besides Hawaii to have a tropical climate, and the only continental state with both a tropical climate, located at the southern portion of the state, and a coral reef. Florida has several unique ecosystems, including Everglades National Park, the largest tropical wilderness in the U.S. and among the largest in the Americas. Unique wildlife include the American alligator, American crocodile, American flamingo, roseate spoonbill, Florida panther, bottlenose dolphin, and manatee. The Florida Reef is the only living coral barrier reef in the continental United States, and the third largest coral barrier reef system in the world, after the Great Barrier Reef and the Belize Barrier Reef. The northern mockingbird Mimus polyglottos is a medium-sized songbird with a greater brown body and a lighter underbelly. They are territorial and use high perches as lookout posts. Northern mockingbirds are known for their singing ability, mimicry, and powers of imitation. They can incorporate other sounds into their songs, often imitating other songbirds but sometimes frogs, dogs, or the occasional car horn. The orange blossom is the fragrant flower of the Citrus sinensis orange tree. It is used in perfume making and has been written about as an aphrodisiac. Orange blossom essence is an important component in the making of perfume. The petals of orange blossom can also be made into orange flower water as an alternative to rose water, a common part of both French cuisine and Middle Eastern cuisine, most often as an ingredient in desserts and baked goods. It's also present in Hispanic culinary traditions, with notable examples being Mexican pan de muerto and Spanish roscon de reyes. The suball palmetto is a medium-sized and branched evergreen palm that's native to the southeastern United States, Mexico, the West Indies, and the Bahamas. It's also known as the cabbage palm, cabbage palmetto, blue palmetto, Carolina palmetto, and more. The suball palm is the state tree of Florida and South Carolina. It's the most widespread arborescent palm in the United States, and is often found growing along water bodies. There are 67 counties in the U.S. state of Florida, which became a territory of the U.S. in 1821, with 2 counties complementing the provincial divisions, retained as a Spanish territory, Escambia to the west and St. John's to the east. The 2 counties were divided by the Suwannee River. All of the other counties were created later from these 2 original counties. Florida became the 27th U.S. state in 1845, and its last county was created in 1925 with the formation of Gilchrist County from a segment of Alachua County. Florida's counties are subdivisions of the state government. Florida's most populous county is Miami-Dade County, the 7th most populous county in the nation, with a population of 2,701,767 as of the 2020 census. In 1968, counties gained the power to develop their own charters. All but 2 of Florida's county seats are incorporated municipalities. The exceptions are Crawfordville, county seat of rural Wakulla County, and East Naples, located outside Naples city limits in Collier County. The names of Florida's counties reflect its cultural heritage. Some are named for Confederate political leaders and Spanish explorers, marking the influence of Spanish sovereignty, while others are named for Christian saints, Native American sites, as well as political leaders of the United States. Natural features of the region, including rivers, lakes, and flora, are also commonly used for county names. Florida has counties named for participants on both sides of Second Seminole War of Miami-Dade. County is partially named for Francis L. Dade, a major in the U.S. Army at the time. Osceola County is named for the war's native Muskogee Seminole resistance leader Osceola. Population figures are based on the 2023 vintage census population estimates. The population of Florida is 22,610,726, an increase of 5.0% from 2020. The average population of Florida's counties is 337,474. Miami-Dade County is the most populous, 2,686,867, and Liberty County is the least, 7,706. The average land area is 805 square mi, 2,085 square kilometers. The largest county is Collier County as per 2020 census Bureau of 1,998.32 square miles. The Federal Information Processing Standard FIPS is used by the U.S. government to uniquely identify counties and is provided for each entry. These codes link to the United States Census Bureau's quick facts for each county. Florida's FIPS code of 12 is used to distinguish from counties in other states. For example, Alachua County's unique nationwide identifier is 12,001. Top 10 largest cities in Florida. Number 10, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Fort Lauderdale is a coastal city located in the U.S. state of Florida, 30 miles, 48 kilometers north of Miami, along the Atlantic Ocean. It is the county seat of and most populous city in Broward County with a population of 182,760 at the 2020 census, making it the 10th most populous city in Florida. After Miami and Hialeah, Fort Lauderdale is the third most populous city in the Miami metropolitan area, which had a population of 6,166,488 in 2019, built in 1838, and first incorporated in 1911. Fort Lauderdale is named after a series of forts built by the United States. During the Second Seminole War, the forts took their name from Major William Lauderdale (1780–1838), younger brother of Lieutenant Colonel James Lauderdale. Development of the city did not begin until 50 years after the forts were abandoned at the end of the conflict. 3 forts named Fort Lauderdale were constructed, including the first at the fork of the New River, the second at Tarpon Bend on the New River between the present-day Coley Hammock and Rio Vista neighborhoods, and the third near the site of the Bahia Mar Marina, known as the Venice of America. Fort Lauderdale has 165 miles of inland waterways across the city. In addition to tourism, Fort Lauderdale has a diversified economy including marine, manufacturing, finance, insurance, real estate, high technology, avionics and aerospace, film, and television production. The city is a popular tourist destination with an average year-round temperature of 75.5 degrees Fahrenheit, 24.2 degrees Celsius, and 3,000 hours of sunshine per year. Greater Fort Lauderdale, encompassing all of Broward County, hosted more than 13 million overnight visitors. In 2018, each year nearly 4 million cruise passengers passed through its Port Everglades, making it the third largest cruise port in the world. With over 50,000 registered yachts and 100 marinas, Fort Lauderdale is also known as the yachting capital of the world. Number 9. Tallahassee, Florida. Tallahassee is the capital city of the U.S. state of Florida. It is the county seat and only incorporated municipality in Leon County. Tallahassee became the capital of Florida, then the Florida Territory, in 1824. In 2022, the estimated population was 201,731, making it the 8th most populous city in the state of Florida. It is the principal city of the Tallahassee, Florida Metropolitan Statistical Area, which had an estimated population of 390,992. As of 2022, Tallahassee is the largest city in the Florida, Big Bend and Florida Panhandle regions, with a student population exceeding 70,000. Tallahassee is a college town, home to Florida State University, Florida A&M University, and Tallahassee State College, a large state college that serves mainly as a feeder school to FSU and FAMU. As the capital, Tallahassee is the site of the Florida State Capitol, Supreme Court of Florida, Florida Governor's Mansion, and nearly 30 state agency headquarters. The city is also known for its large number of law firms, lobbying organizations, trade associations, and professional associations, including the Florida Bar and the Florida Chamber of Commerce. It is a recognized regional center for scientific research and home to the National High Magnetic Field Laboratory. In 2015, Tallahassee was awarded the All-America City Award by the National Civic League for the second time. Number 8. Hialeah, Florida. Hialeah is a city in Miami-Dade County, Florida, United States, with a population of 223,109. As of the 2020 census, Hialeah is the 6th largest city in Florida. It is the 2nd largest city by population in the Miami metropolitan area of South Florida, which was home to an estimated 6,198,782 people at the 2018 census. It is located west-northwest of Miami, and is one of a few places in the county, others being Homestead, Miami Beach, Surfside, Bal Harbor, Sunny Isles Beach, and Golden Beach, to have its own street grid numbered separately from the rest of the county, which is otherwise based on Miami Avenue at Flagler Street in downtown Miami, the county seat. The city is notable for its high Hispanic proportion, which was 94% in 2020. This was the 2nd highest proportion of Hispanic Americans in the contiguous United States, and the highest proportion among incorporated communities outside of Puerto Rico. Hialeah also has the highest proportion of Cuban and Cuban American residents of any city in the United States, at 84.1% of the population, making them a prominent feature of the city's culture. In 2023, 89.5% of residents reported speaking Spanish at home, and the language is an important part of daily life in the city. Hialeah is served by the Miami Metrorail at the Okeechobee, Hialeah, and Tri-Rail and Metrorail transfer stations. The Okeechobee and Hialeah stations serve primarily as park and ride commuter stations for commuters and residents going into downtown Miami, and the Tri-Rail station for Miami International Airport and north to West Palm Beach. Number 7. Cape Coral, Florida. Cape Coral is a city in Lee County, Florida, United States, on the Gulf of Mexico. Founded in 1957, the city's population had grown to 194,016 as of the 2020 census, a 26% increase from 154,309 at the 2010 census, making it the 9th most populous city in Florida, with an area of 120 square miles 310 square kilometers. Cape Coral is the largest city between Tampa and Miami in both population and area. It is the largest and principal city in the Cape Coral-Fort Myers, Florida metropolitan statistical area. The city has over 400 mi, 640 kilometers of navigable waterways, more than any other city on Earth. Number 6. Port St. Lucie, Florida. Port St. Lucie is a city in St. Lucie County, Florida, United States. It is the most populous municipality in the county and the 7th most populous city in Florida, with a population of 204,851 at the 2020 census. It is located 125 miles 201 kilometers southeast of Orlando and 113 miles 182 kilometers north of Miami. It is a principal city in the Port St. Lucie metropolitan statistical area, which includes St. Lucie and Martin counties, and as of 2021 had an estimated population of 502,521. Port St. Lucie is also a principal city in the Miami-Fort Lauderdale-Port St. Lucie combined statistical area, which had an estimated population of 6,841,100 as of 2021. Number 5. St. Petersburg, Florida. St. Petersburg is a city in Pinellas County, Florida, United States. As of the 2020 census, the population was 258,308, making it the 5th most populous city in Florida and the most populous city in the state that is not a county seat. The city of Clearwater is the seat of Pinellas County. It is the 2nd most populous city in the Tampa Bay area, which is the 2nd largest metropolitan area in Florida with an estimated population of about 3.29 million in 2022. St. Petersburg is located on the Pinellas Peninsula between Tampa Bay and the Gulf of Mexico, and is connected to mainland Florida to the north. Locals often refer to the city as St. Pete. Neighboring St. Pete Beach formally shortened its name in 1994 after a vote by its residents. St. Petersburg is governed by a mayor and city council, with an average of 361 days of sunshine annually, and a Guinness World Record for the most consecutive days of sunshine, 768 days between 1967 and 1969. It is nicknamed the Sunshine City. Located on the Gulf of Mexico, the average water temperature is typically around 76 degrees Fahrenheit, 24 degrees Celsius. Due to its good weather, the city has long been a popular retirement destination, although in recent years the population has moved in a much more youthful direction. Number 4. Orlando, Florida. Orlando is a city in and the county seat of Orange County, Florida, United States. Part of Central Florida, it is the center of the Orlando metropolitan area, which had a population of 2,509,831 in 2017. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, it is the 6th largest metropolitan area in the southern United States and the 3rd largest metropolitan area in Florida behind Miami and Tampa Bay. Orlando had a city population of 307,573 in the 2020 census, making it the 4th most populous city in Florida behind Jacksonville Miami, and Tampa. It is the state's most populous inland city. Orlando is one of the most visited cities in the world primarily due to tourism, major events, and convention traffic. It is the third most visited city in the U.S. after New York City and Miami, with over 2.9 million visitors as of 2022. Orlando International Airport is the 13th busiest airport in the United States, and the 29th busiest in the world. The two largest and most internationally renowned tourist attractions in the Orlando area are the Walt Disney World Resort, opened by the Walt Disney Company in 1971 and located about 21 miles 34 kilometers southwest of downtown Orlando in Bay Lake, and the Universal Orlando Resort, opened in 1990 as a major expansion of Universal Studios Florida and the only theme park inside Orlando city limits. With the exception of the theme parks, most major cultural sites like the Orlando Museum of Art and Dr. Phillips Center for the Performing Arts and world-renowned nightlife, bars, and clubs are located in downtown Orlando. Other attractions like Orlando Eye at Icon Park are located along International Drive. The city is also one of the busiest American cities for conferences and conventions. Orange County Convention Center is the second largest convention facility in the United States. Like other major cities in the Sun Belt, Orlando grew rapidly from the 1960s into the first decade of the 21st century. Orlando is home to the University of Central Florida, which became the largest university campus in the United States. In terms of enrollment as of 2015, in 2010, Orlando was listed as a Gamma Plus level global city by the Globalization and World Cities Research Network. Number 3. Tampa, Florida. Tampa is a city on the Gulf Coast of the U.S. state of Florida. The city's borders include the north shore of Tampa Bay and the east shore of Old Tampa Bay. Tampa is the largest city in the Tampa Bay Area and the county seat of Hillsborough County, with an estimated population of 403,364. In 2023, Tampa is the 49th most populous city in the country, and the third most populous city in Florida, after Jacksonville and Miami. Tampa was founded as a military center during the 19th century with the establishment of Fort Brooke. The cigar industry was also brought to the city by Vicente Martinez Ybor, after whom Ybor City is named. Tampa was reincorporated as a city in 1887. Following the Civil War, Tampa's economy is driven by tourism, healthcare, finance, insurance, technology, construction, and the maritime industry. The Bay's port is the largest in the state, responsible for over $15 billion in economic impact. The city is part of the Tampa-St. Petersburg-Clearwater, Florida Metropolitan Statistical Area, which is a four-county area composed of roughly 3.1 million residents, making it the second largest Metropolitan Statistical Area (MSA) in the state, and the sixth largest in the southeastern United States, behind Dallas-Fort Worth, Houston, Washington, D.C., Atlanta, and Miami. The Greater Tampa Bay Area has over 4 million residents and generally includes the Tampa and Sarasota metro areas. Number 2. Miami, Florida. Miami, officially the City of Miami, is a coastal city in the U.S. state of Florida, and the county seat of Miami-Dade County in South Florida. It is the core of the Miami metropolitan area, which, with a population of 6.14 million, is the second largest metropolitan area in the southeast after Atlanta, and the ninth largest in the United States, with a population of 442,241. As of the 2020 census, Miami is the second most populous city in Florida after Jacksonville. Miami has the third largest skyline in the U.S. with over 300 high-rises, 61 of which exceed 491 feet 150 meters. Miami is a major center and leader in finance, commerce, culture, arts, and international trade. Miami's metropolitan area is by far the largest urban economy in Florida, with a gross domestic product of $344.9 billion. As of 2017, according to a 2018 UBS study of 77 world cities, Miami is the third richest city in the U.S. and the third richest globally in purchasing power. Miami is a majority-minority city with a Hispanic and Latino population. of 310,472, or 70.2% of the city's population. As of 2020. Downtown Miami has among the largest concentrations of international banks in the U.S. and is home to several large national and international companies. The Health District is home to several major University of Miami-affiliated hospital and health facilities, including Jackson Memorial Hospital, the nation's largest hospital with 1,547 beds, and the Miller School of Medicine, the University of Miami's academic medical center and teaching hospital, and others engaged in health-related care and research. Port Miami, the city's seaport, is the busiest cruise port in the world in both passenger traffic and cruise lines. The Miami metropolitan area is the second most visited city or metropolitan statistical area in the U.S. after New York City. With over 4 million visitors as of 2022, Miami has sometimes been called the gateway to Latin America because of the magnitude of its commercial and cultural ties to Latin America. In 2022, Miami ranked 7th in the U.S. in business activity, human capital, information exchange, cultural experience, and political engagement. Number 1. Jacksonville, Florida. Jacksonville is the most populous city proper in the U.S. state of Florida. Located on the Atlantic coast of northeastern Florida, it is the seat of Duval County, with which the city of Jacksonville consolidated in 1968. It was the largest city by area in the contiguous United States as of 2020, and became the 10th largest city by population in 2023. City-county consolidation greatly increased Jacksonville's official population and extended its boundaries, placing most of Duval County's population within the new municipal limits. Jacksonville grew to 900 square miles, 2,300 square kilometers. As of July 2022, Jacksonville's population was 971,319, while the population of Duval County was about 1 million. After consolidation, Jacksonville became the most populous city in Florida and the southeastern United States, and the largest in the South, outside the state of Texas, with a population of 1,733,937. The Jacksonville metropolitan area ranks as Florida's 4th largest metropolitan region. The metropolitan area consists of Clay County, St. Johns County, Nassau County, and Baker County. Jacksonville straddles the St. Johns River in the First Coast region of northeastern Florida, about 12 miles 19 kilometers south of the Georgia state line, 25 miles or 40 kilometers to the urban core, downtown, and 350 miles 560 kilometers north of Miami. The Jacksonville Beaches communities are along the adjacent Atlantic coast. The area was originally inhabited by the Timucua people, and in 1564 was the site of the French colony of Fort Carillon, one of the earliest European settlements in what is now the continental United States. Under British rule, a settlement grew at the narrow point in the river where cattle crossed, known as Wacapalacca to the Seminole, and the Cow Ford to the British. A platted town was established there in 1822, a year after the United States gained Florida from Spain. It was named after Andrew Jackson, the first military governor of the Florida Territory, and 7th President of the United States. Harbor improvements since the late 19th century have made Jacksonville a major military and civilian deepwater port. Its riverine location facilitates Naval Station Mayport, Naval Air Station Jacksonville, the U.S. Marine Corps' Blount Island Command, and the Port of Jacksonville Jacksport, Florida's largest seaport by volume. Jacksonville's military bases and the nearby naval submarine base Kings. They form the 3rd largest military presence in the United States. Significant factors in the local economy include services such as banking, insurance, healthcare, and logistics. As with much of Florida, tourism is important to the Jacksonville area, particularly tourism related to golf with the PGA Tour headquarters located in nearby Ponte Vedra Beach. People from Jacksonville are known as Jacksonvillians and, informally, as Jacksons or Jacksons, both derived from Jacks, the shortened nickname for the city.